part one of 4 parts of instruction on Notability. And the focus of this part will be on organization. If I go to my Notability app, and I'm going to walk you around the features. On the top left, you have an edit button, and when I click, you can notice that things are happening. We'll go over that in a few minutes. Next to the edit button is an export button. If you go further down, you will see that you have an import button. The import button allows you to bring in PDF files from Dropbox. And then on the far right corner, you see a paper and pencil icon, and that's if you wanted to create a brand new note. If you go down to the bottom, there's an information button. The question mark is a help button, which will take you to a browser where you can ask questions. And then there's a gear. The gear is for settings. And the one setting I would direct you to when you first start to use Notability is this setting called Select a Theme. I've chosen the colorful theme, and the reason I do that is because I like to color code my subjects. Students might choose a different theme, and therefore the appearance of their Notability app might look a little bit different. So how is this organized? This is organized in 3 levels. These grade folder-looking things called Science, History, Notability, Technology, and Family are actually called categories. And if I click on the category, it opens up and it shows me the subjects that are inside. So notes and handouts are what we call subjects. Now in my handouts, if I click on handouts, you can see I have 1 note. So this is 1 note in my subjects handout and in my category of science. So you want to remember the terms, and it is a little odd because it so much looks like a folder, but it's really called a category. To create categories and subjects, you click on the plus sign. So I've typed in math, and we're going to make that a category. So notice I now have an open category, and there's nothing inside of it. I'm going to go ahead and close that. Now let's add something to it. Let's add homework. And I know I have another subject called homework, so I'm going to call it homework for math. And when I click subject, it will now add, let's call it mathematics subject, okay? So I can see that it automatically put it in that last folder that I created. If it hadn't, I would be able to click on edit and I could move it to wherever I wanted to. So that's how easy it is to create a subject and a category. I'm going to open all of my categories here, and when I do so, you can see that, gee, I have something called iPad Workshop, and that does not look like it belongs under history. So I'm going to click on the edit button, and now I have these lines that appear next to my title, and I can take this iPad Workshop and bring it down to technology. You don't hover over the category, you have to put it underneath it. So I have now put that in the place where it belongs. Another thing I can do with the edit is I can change the name of a category. So let's say this family category I wanted to call personal. With the edit feature on, when I select it, I can delete family and just type in my new name. So now my category has been changed to personal. You can also change the title of the subject. So let's click on that math homework that I just created. And I am going to now click on, I've selected it and click on edit. And up at the top, I have a gear up here. Now the gear allows me to change the color. I also could come in here and change the name. Okay, so if I wanted to call this just homework, math class, I can do it that easily. So we have created categories, we've created subjects, we've seen a note, we've edited the titles, the names of a category, we've changed the color and edited the name of a subject. We also have unfiled notes. And I'll be doing note-taking in part 3. But for this part, I just want to show you that at any time I can click on unfiled, and these are all the notes that are just loose. I have not put them inside of a subject yet. So let's take a look at this Alexander one here, and that looks like it's a history under Roman Empire. So I'm going to grab this file, this note, and I'm going to drag it into the Roman Empire. And now if I click on Roman Empire, I can see that the note was moved there. Interesting to note that you are not able to put a note in a category. You have to put it inside of a subject. So let's do one more of those. I know that this note is homework for math, so I'm going to open my math category so that I can see the subject. I'm going to grab it and just drop it in there. And notice it does tell you that I have one subject and I have one note now in there. And the other thing that I would show you in this section is how you can delete. I'm done with my editing. If I close this, if I wanted to delete, I just swipe and I can delete my whole math. If I wanted to delete just one subject, I can do the same thing, just swipe and I can hit the delete key. So stay tuned for part 2 where I will talk about annotation.